budget and calls for those steep hikes to be reversed from city schools. Activist and pastor Shannon Wright. Good morning to you, Shannon.
Good morning. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. So we're talking about this money. They're asking that city districts add more money to that funding from the Kirwin plan, which is a 10-year plan to help improve education. The mayor called it a gut punch because it affects his budget. What's your reaction to that?
The only way the Kirwin price tag would be a gut punch to Mayor Scott is if he's been asleep at the wheel, as we've all been concerned that he has been. The funding formula has been out. It has not been a secret that the funding for Kirwin, a very expensive education plan without the ties to make sure we're getting the results we need, the funding has been out. It's been clear that the funding would come from the state and from the municipalities and jurisdictions. So for the mayor to say this is a gut punch, it means he's been asleep at the wheel. He's not been doing his homework and he's not been paying attention. But that's how Baltimore seems to roll, slow to the party and then confused as to how this happened and how we got here.
Other districts have also, I guess, been taken aback by the amount of money it really breaks down to. We heard from another Republican state lawmaker. Do you think that possibly there is a chance for them to rework this formula? Because it doesn't seem like this is a Baltimore-only issue as we head into this final week of session.
So the difference that people need to be really clear about is, yes, we do need to rework the funding formula for Kirwin. But other jurisdictions have been saying since its inception, since the beginning, that this was going to be too expensive to be sustainable without a guarantee of outcomes. The fact that Baltimore is just waking up to see that is a little bit disturbing. Also concerning to me is Britt Kirwin himself is saying, well, we've hit a few bumps in the road. We're going to have to ask folks to be patient, but within 9 years, this will be working and we'll have a system. In Baltimore City, with 20 schools with students with zero proficiency and another 22 with 1 or 2 students, we don't have 9 years to wait for our elected folks to get themselves together and for Mayor Scott to wake up, smell the coffee, and read the budgets. We need action now. This program, Kirwin, should never have moved forward without people understanding the cost. Everyone's behind. Yes, we want to fix education, but then it's as if they woke up and said, oh, we have to pay for it? Of course we have to pay for it. Where do you think the money was coming from? The Easter Bunny?
Okay. So we also, just to mention here, we've got like $22,000 per pupil here in Baltimore, $1.62 billion spent on education. So it's one of the most expansive budgets, and we're not quite seeing the results that so many parents deserve. Exactly. 23 city schools where students are not performing at grade level on math and critical subjects. Is it money the issue here? I'm trying to get to the bottom of this, and I'm struggling to understand if the money is really the problem in helping solve this problem.
A lot of folks are struggling to understand this problem. Baltimore City schools gets more per student than the average private school tuition. And you're telling me you can't make that money get into the classroom? But if we add more money to it, billions on the cities, millions on the city side and billions on the state side, that then the money will be able to find its way to the classroom? I think not. Accountability, safeguards, making sure that we are actually getting the results for our students that we need, those kind of things need to be in place. And this budget, this ticket price that this costs, way out of line, especially for what we're getting. I know here in Baltimore, we're looking at being behind the 8 ball in terms of COVID recovery as a city. We're behind the 8 ball in terms of public school and education performance. A lot of the reasons why the mayor is a little scared about the budget is because he's also failing on the economic side in terms of growing the city's economic base to bring in the revenue to be able to expand and do things comfortably instead of having to constantly and consistently hit the rainy day and surplus funds. Our leadership is out of whack and backwards in Baltimore. Kirwin budget does need to be tweaked. It's needed to be tweaked since the funding formula was released. And I believe that was a few years ago. Baltimore, once again, is slow to the party and late to wake up.
All right, we'll keep our eyes on that tweak that it has to come, if it's going to come, in the next couple of days here. We're wrapping up session this week, this Monday. So thank you so much, Shannon Wright, for joining us, pastor and activist, for your insight on this.
Thank you.
And we also have